you've opened up Unreal Engine and you are on this starting screen and you're like, well, where do I go from here? The first part, right, you might be on recent projects. If you're using this computer after somebody else and they already have a recent project, you don't really want to use their recent projects. You want to use yours. And so you're going to come down to games, and this is going to be where we can make a game for ourselves. And Unreal is kind of nice where it gives you some templates. Templates basically are just like a starting way of giving you a lot of the mechanics that you might need for a game where you don't have to create everything from scratch. You don't get like a blank slate. You can get a blank slate, and that's what this one is, where it's just there's clean project, no code, if you just want that. But it's always more fun to have something and then manipulate it and see what you can make. So that's what we're going to be doing. There's multiple versions here of different templates that you could use. First person, again, simple. It's like where you just see the gun and you get to go through that. Uh, Personally, that's not my favorite game style. If it's yours, it's something you might want to consider. Third person, this is actually my favorite type of game style. I like to be able to see my character and see where they're going on the screen and everything, and that's that one. And then there's top down, which again, not my favorite. It's like a Diablo type game, not my favorite type of style of playing. There's handheld uh, and virtual reality in a vehicle. Those three I've never used or tried. So what I'm going to be showing you today is third person. Um, Over here on the right hand side, you're going to see there's some information that you could put about this. The first one is blueprints versus C++. Blueprints are like little code blocks where it gives you like a description. This will move your character, right? And so you don't have to know the code that does that. That's the C++ version, is that if you write the code of how the character moves, where they have pre-planned blocks of code that does it for you, so you can just connect those. And that's what blueprints are, and so that's what we're going to be using today. You could either do a desktop or a mobile game. We're going to start off with desktop games, and then you have quality presets. You could change this. You could just leave it high for right now, and that's fine. And then you have the variant, and we're just going to leave that as none. Then at the bottom here, it says project location, and you'll see that there's like a little file folder next to it. If you click this, and you'll see it tells you where the files that are going to store. So it's going to make you a folder with all of the files that you need for your game in one location. It's important for you to note where this is, right? And I'll show you another way when we get into the game where you can see where your files are if you forgot. But this is important because this is like, I suggest you initially have it built on the computer that you're on. But if you're on a school computer, you might not want to leave it there. So you probably want to either upload it to the internet, if you have like a Google Drive or OneDrive, depending upon like if you use Microsoft or Google, or if you want to save it to a USB drive. So it's important to know that, but it's faster if you just try to have it run on the local computer at first. And so then over here on the right, you have a project name. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make my project name I could have just left it my project. And the reason I suggest not leaving things my project, and you get my project 1, my project 2, is then you don't know which one is which and what you're doing. So what I'm going to do is just say JG, because those are my initials, Jen Goodrow. And then I'm going to give it something that I know, like, so I'll say third person, and something about the game that I'm making right now. Like, if you were going to make an actual game, you'd want the name of the game that you're going to be making. But for this, it's just going to be kind of a tutorial, so that's what I'll call it, a tutorial. You could call it whatever you want to call it. The idea here is you want something specific and unique to what you're making now, so that when you go back and you know which one you're doing, you know that. And you might also do like a version number. So I'm going to do version 1, because that tells me that, like, if I make another version, I know which is the latest version, and it's easy for me to see when I look at the folders where I'm at, and like, you know. So then I'm just going to hit create. This is going to take a couple minutes for it to actually do. eventually you're going to have it pop up, and this is what you should see is something like this. And I will go, in the next video, I'll go over all of the parts of your screen. This first one, I just usually like to make sure when you get in here, you do, I'm going to do one thing. This is just so that I can make things more visual, or easier to read on the screen. I go to Tools up at the top, they have a toolbar, and I go to Tools, Debug, and Widget Reflector. What this does is give us a way to increase the scale that we were doing. So I always just going to bring it up to 1.3-ish. This just makes it so that things are more visible on the screen. It might change the position of things a little bit. And the other thing is on your toolbar at the top, like you should see like a viewport. And if you go to the right hand side, there's one that kind of looks like a meter thing or a little clock thing. And you're going to click on that, and it should say Performance Scalability Tools tied to this viewport. And what I'm going to do is go down and switch it. You might start off on Epic. You want to switch it to low. And the reason why is, especially if you're on the school computers again, is that we don't have good graphics cards. We don't have good, computers. They're pretty slow and painful. So changing this will make a huge difference on your performance. And so that's the first video that just got you in. So then go look for the next video on the placement of everything.